Last night was interesting. We flew to Palm Beach and met with probably 100 of our top supporters, and they were great. They're all excited, and some of them had been to practice, but it's a wonderful time for them to be down there, and they've given us so much of their time, their energy, and their money, and it was just an outstanding group. Chancellor was there with us, and Bubba was there, and David Ruth. So we had just John Montgomery had a great time. It's fun to see the enthusiasm right now for football at the University of North Carolina. Secondly, today's practice, first time in pads. It's always a little bit rough because they're just not used to them. They hadn't been in pads for a long time. Energy was good, enthusiasm was good. I thought they really tried, so the effort was good. Still too many penalties. We've got ACC officials out here every day, and we're going to make a huge to-do out of who had the penalties and why they had them, and some of them are frustration penalties when you push afterwards, and we got to quit all that stuff. We can't continue to have penalties like we have, so that'll be a huge emphasis today. There weren't many turnovers by the offense, which is good. You're not going to have a lot of turnovers by the defense unless it's an interception when you're thud, because we weren't tackling today. But we felt like overall it's a good 3 days, and it'll give us a lot better feel of who we are and what kind of team we have, because 2 days in shorts and 1 day in pads, and then you've got a week off to really study the guys and see exactly who they are and have a little better idea when we come back of who we need to work more or less, or what we do with them, and I think that'll help us. And then some of the guys are sore, and it'll give them a chance to get well over spring break. Noah Ruggles, for one, has been a plus as a kicker. He hadn't missed a field goal or extra point in 3 days. So that's really good. That's a positive in our kicking game. Punting's been a little inconsistent. We've still got to figure out which one of those guys can do it. And we have a punter coming in the fall as well. We've got Maria Taylor, who came out today for practice. She's going to talk to our guys about social media and handling the media this afternoon with media training. And she's the best at what she does. So she's here for the Duke game. She's a friend of ours, and she'll do a great job with them. And it was fun to have Malik Carney back out. I wish he could play. And Rasheed Wallace, we'd put him at wide receiver probably. He might be a tight end. He could be a defensive end, or maybe just a jumper in the middle to bat balls down. But Rasheed was in school when we were here before, and it's great to see him.
Can you learn much individually about guys 1 day in with pads? And if so, anything kind of jump out at you today?
No, what we'll do is really look at this video hard, and we'll look at this one more than the 2 days in shorts, obviously. But we've got a full week now just to evaluate every little detail. And what we will do is take all of our coaches that are here, and they'll all look at it separately, and then come together, and collectively we'll figure out, everybody will kind of vote and see who feels like they need more reps and who needs less, and it helps us separate. But this just gives us an idea going into the second part of practice when we get back. And I really like the fact that we've got 3 days in time off, because we need a lot of film study on all of these guys, and now we can do that.
What position groups do you think stand out in a positive way? What do you think groups you have a little concern about or need more work just from those first day pads and free practices?
You know, it's hard to say who would be really standing out, because I don't know that anybody yet has done enough to really say that we've stood out. I'm a little concerned at linebackers. I think they have to step it up the most. I have been impressed by Chaz Surratt and his move over there. He can run. He's 225, 30 pounds. He looked like he hit people today just standing out there watching practice. So I think he'll be a plus. But that's probably the position that's got to step up the most.
What have been your early impressions of Trey Morrison?
Trey has got really good instincts. He loves to play. He's got a lot of spirit. He's tough. He's got very good hands. He dropped an interception today, which is unlike him. But I think he's one of those guys that just is a really good football player because he can play in space.
Tamon said that he's standing up a lot more. He doesn't have a hand on the ground as much as he did in the previous game. Even those 3 days in, what have you seen from him that you like in transitioning to sort of a different role?
Tamon's smart. He's physical. He's got a lot of athletic ability, and he will be one of our best players, and I think one of our best leaders. So we're really excited about him. And Jay Bateman, to me, did so many great things at Army, and one of the things that's a little bit different is he likes to stand them up some and have them come from a 3-point stance some, but he likes a 2-point stance, and he does it a lot both ways, and the guys are getting used to it.
He and Trebo said one of the big differences in the new scheme that they're learning now is everybody's communicating instead of just a few people, and they believe that keeps everybody gets everybody on the same page and keeps them on the same page. And your understanding this defense, is that one of the reasons why that defense works, is because the guys are always on the same page?
Yes, it's if you sit down and you start talking to Jay, he's a very smart guy, and he loves to be aggressive, and the young people just gravitate to him, and they feel like he's got it. He knows what he's doing. He did so many good things at Army that he comes in with a reputation of being able to take lesser players and stop some people, and he does it with making things look very, very complicated, and making all the checks on offense check into bad plays, and then he slants and brings people late and brings people on delayed blitzes, and there's a lot of things like that a number of people aren't doing in college football, and the guys are excited about it.
What is going into the locker room renovation and the situation there? Where is it in that, and what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I'm talking to the Rams Club board tomorrow at 1:30 and asking them for money, and what we're wanting to do is we're wanting to redo all the lockers. We're wanting to change up a lot of things and replenish the weight room basically, and let Brian take out what he isn't going to use and put in the things that he's going to use, and give us a lot more space, because space has been an issue, and those are the things we're looking at right now more than anything else in the renovation.
Why the locker rooms need renovation? What's the situation there, and what do you want to put in there?
We got to be the cool place to be in recruiting, and the lockers are old and they're outdated, and they don't have a cooling system to dry all the shoulder pads and knee braces and helmets when they're in there, so kids would actually have to lay stuff on the floor, and we're talking to them about discipline and doing every little thing right, and we need to help them. They don't have a place to plug in their iPads and their phones, and you all know how drastic that is for young people right now, so we've had to bring in some charging poles, and we want it to be in their locker, and so we've gone out and we're checking with people who have made the best lockers in the country, and that's what we want to give our guys. If we're going to ask them to be the best, we need to give them the best.
It's great detail.
Diami mentioned though that
that's my life.
Yeah.
I've been, and we met with all the players and asked them to. We took lockers from across the country and said, "You guys tell us what you want in it," and that's what they came up with.
Diami mentioned that without Anthony Ratliff-Williams this year, it'll be interesting to see how things shake up at wide receiver. What are you sort of expecting out of him, and what skills does he have that you think will apply and allow him to take the next step this year?
Diami has the number one thing you need, and that's speed. He can really run, and I think as a receiver group, we've just got to be more consistent catchers. We're still dropping too many balls, and I've told them that we should never have a ball against air be dropped. Quarterback should be accurate enough that he gets it to the receivers, and the receivers should be good enough that they catch every ball. There was a time when Colt McCoy was playing, I never saw a ball on the ground, and that's what I'm used to. So we're not going to accept drops.
What about Daz?
Yeah, that's the last one.
With what's Daz done to kind of?
I think Daz has done the same thing. His reputation stands by itself because he's fast, he's athletic, he can make plays in space. We just got to make sure, like Diami, that all of them start being more consistent catchers. We can't afford drop balls in this offense. You're spreading everybody out, and a lot of the passes are like runs, so you got to catch them all. It's like a handoff and like a sweep, and that's just what we've got to improve on.
All righty. Thank you,
Okay.
Coach.